Hello folks, it's Alex the G signing in here, and I don't know what I'm going to talk about exactly here. I'm going to play it by ear and sit down and tell you that once again I am not really uploading YouTube videos because it is kind of hard for me to just sit down with my thoughts and be able to gather them and articulate them in a manner that's like efficient enough for people to listen to. I feel like I go off topic a lot sometimes because I like quickly jump to one thought to the next thought without finishing the present thought. I hope that makes sense. And I know it's probably loud in the background a little bit, but honestly, I don't really care because I'm just sitting in the back here of where I live, and I know I've never showed this before. And there's my dog. And I've lived here for about a year now. And within that year, there's a lot of shit that's happened to me. And I'm not going to explain all that. And I know I haven't covered a lot of these things the last year or so that I've been living here. So you guys probably don't even really know a lot about me. And I just feel like I could do better in introducing myself to more people, you know? And I'm glad that we have a lot of support. I really appreciate you guys, anybody that's listening to this. Because it takes a lot to just take some time out of your day to just listen to somebody else's life. For me, anyways, it's just hard to listen to that many people. I, of course, listen to a lot of Will's videos. Other than that, I don't really pay attention to YouTube that often. I kind of just am living my own life, you know? My dog's making this weird sound at an animal. I don't know what she's doing. Well, anyways, I'm moving soon. So I'm going to be moving in April. That's when I'm moving. And I'm not really that enthusiastic about it because last year, if you listen to maybe a few videos of mine, then you would know that I moved last year too. And that was difficult because it was my parents divorcing, and within that time, all these things have happened, and I'm a lot closer with my mom now, I would say. But my dad is difficult because there's a lot of things that I realized about him that is hard for me to just put out on a public video at this moment. I think I just need to let it be. But there's just some underlying trauma with my relationship with my dad and my relationship with my brother. My younger brother is something that I've developed over the last 6 months or so. And within that time, I felt very close with him, closer than I've ever have been with my younger brother. I always put him down, and I was never nice to him, you know? I treated him like shit. But he also was, you know, kind of irritating, and then was kind of mean to my mom. I'm not going to justify the way I treated him, but when we were a little bit younger, I just didn't like him because of the way he treated my mom and the way he took advantage of her. And in a way, I don't blame him because that was a lot to do with who he saw as his role model, as a man in his life, and that was my father. So what do you know? So I'm not going to guilt trip him about it anymore because he's changed a lot and he's grown up, and I'm really proud of him, you know? Let's see, what else do I want to touch up on? I don't know, I'm just chilling here. So with that relationship with my brother, there's a lot of other positive things that have happened. But also a lot of things I've been through And I don't know if I should just cover every topic and go through my life last year, because a lot of it is the past, but the past still affects you a lot. I'm just trying to be optimistic about the future. I'm moving very close by, which is nice, but I am moving, and I'm just not that enthusiastic about it because it was really hard the first time. I'm just looking at the trees that I showed you earlier, and I'm just trying to enjoy the moment here. With the wind blowing by, probably hear it on the camera maybe. The birds chirping. I never just sat here by myself to enjoy it. I feel like I was not grateful enough to be living here. My bikes got stolen recently, so it's gonna be a sour memory of those being stolen. But you know, life is gonna be fine, and I just need to enjoy being my present self more often, alone in my thoughts, because a lot of times I'm afraid of my thoughts. And I think a lot of us are, because our thoughts can produce this physiological response that makes us feel anxious or nervous, you know? If we become too attached to our thoughts, we'll start to believe that reality. And we have to create our own reality by setting our own goals and knowing that not all thoughts are true. They're just invasive thoughts. Sorry, I took that long ass hiatus. I just wanted to record the sounds around me. Everything being silent except what's around me. I just never enjoyed all senses of being here, I feel like. Gratitude is something that takes work. I found this quote earlier that I read on the kombucha that I'm drinking, and it says, "Words of enlightenment. Always be thankful for what you have in your life. Cherish those moments. Appreciate what you have. Accept your life the way it is, and work on goals that make you feel happy." Former payroll specialist and human resources, Chino, California. When I read this quote, I felt strangely positive about it, but at the same time, it made me think about how many people, pretty much everyone that experiences emotions, people suffer. No matter how successful you are, you suffer because there's something going on in your head always. There's something that we all have to go through. And a lot of it is related to overcoming adversity. But even when you overcome that adversity, it's not over. You still have to continue on overcoming that adversity. Make sense? I feel like our lives are just this constant journey that we had to go through. And then not everyone goes through the same archetype almost of this life that we live. But it's all almost related to living the hero's journey and overcoming adversity and getting to a certain point. Not everybody overcomes all that to get to a point in life that they love what they're doing and they feel like they're still challenging themselves. Because I feel like you can be financially stable, but you could still be miserable. You have to spiritually enrich yourself, and spirituality doesn't have to mean focus on crystals and focus on meditating and all those things. I feel like spirituality to me, what it means to me, is just trying to be more mindful and aware of different things and observant of not only my behaviors and what is a part of my own personality, but also more observant of just what I experience around me in terms of my five senses, and grounding myself within the things that I smell, the things that I taste, see, hear, the things that I feel. I think that's still a form of meditation in itself. I think everybody has their own definition of spirituality and what it means to them, which is what makes all of us different. If we're connected to anything else that feels like it's beyond just ourselves. I feel a sense of connection to nature. I feel like many people do, because it's just something that we're supposed to be connected to because of the soil and the air and the sunlight and the plants and the animals. It's like we're naturally connected to all these things. Like it's innate within us to be connected to it because it's what brings us life too. We can give life to plants that in turn give us life. Like, how crazy is that? Oh my God. I think my life has been overall positive recently. There's a lot of things that I've had to overcome. I'm still overcoming those things. You can't really become complacent. In my life and my relationships, I feel like I became complacent, especially with my girlfriend. I know I probably mentioned this at least on one of my prior videos, that I just wasn't giving her enough attention, treating her like the woman she deserves to be treated like. And I know some of you may or may not have a romantic relationship. For those that do, you know what I'm saying if you're in a serious relationship. I mean, not every serious relationship works out, Things happen. And all serious relationships take work. Yeah, I was best friends with my girlfriend for a long time before we started dating. It was when we started dating that things changed, and I feel like it's because of sex. It's really loud, the cars driving by. My dog is pissing in the back there. It's just hard sometimes because I feel like I internalize some of the things that my dad would do, or the way that he would behave with my mom, and how he would put her down and put me down, put my brother down. And seeing what he modeled as a relationship gives me a reference to see what I shouldn't do, but at the same time seeing him behave this type of way is still within me a little bit. But I'm actually conscious of it, and I try my best to react well or show enough affection and be there for my girlfriend. Because after a relationship grows comfortable, you become too comfortable with each other, and there's these quirks that you kind of realize over time, and you may never be able to work that out, and you kind of just have to communicate yourself and your emotions. Like, you shouldn't be emotionally invalidated by somebody. Like, if you feel angry or sad or annoyed or frustrated or something, like, you have to try to communicate those feelings. It's not something that my dad wouldn't do. The way he communicated it was by yelling. And as I progress in my life, with the wind blowing by in my ear, I'm grounded to the present moment. And I'm moving on to another place that I'm going to be calling home. And I don't know for how long exactly. And I'm happy with the relationships that I have in my life. My dad's relationship is going to take work, if it even gets to that point. And there's a lot more that I could say about that relationship. And I don't think I need to touch on all of that right now. But I like my relationship with my mom. My relationship with my brother is good, and so is my girlfriend. But I feel like you have to constantly work on these relationships. You can't ever be satisfied with the way things are. And then you grow complacent, and you start treating these people with less respect sometimes. And I know not everybody is perfect. So you can't give yourself too much of a hard time just thinking like, oh, I haven't been doing enough for these people. They know you're giving in the effort as long as you're giving in the effort. When you're giving in the effort, you generally should feel like accomplished in what you're doing with the relationship. But once you become complacent, you no longer feel accomplished, and then you feel numb. You feel like you don't have really a purpose that you're working on. You have to constantly overcome these obstacles all the time. That as humans, we live this life where everything is supposed to be perfect. Everything. Just the way nature is designed so intricately, everything is designed to be at homeostasis, at equilibrium. And yet everything is constantly out of balance. I really don't remember where I was going with that thought, to be honest. I was thinking about my relationships, that's right. So you have to always work on relationships, even when they might be imbalanced, because you go through something together. Or something just happens, or you make a mistake. But I'm happy. Overall, I've been happy. Like, there's difficult days, of course, but I'm not gonna just wallow in my depression for more than a couple days. But I'm not satisfied. I have to keep going. And ultimately, you have to keep going in order to grow and feel more accomplished. I know people can take that too far if they try to gain more power. But it's just a natural competition that exists within life, and is so we can survive and keep growing and keep going farther. It could be a good thing, it could be possibly a bad thing. But that's just what life entails, and I think that's just all I need to say for now. Thank you for watching if you watch this. I know my tone throughout the video might have changed, and I've talked about different viewpoints. So, thank you for watching if you made it to the end. Alex from PSYCHONAUT Visions signing out.